get one tonight, so it's good.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. Welcome on this great Sunday morning to First Unitarian Universalist Church of Rochester. This is a church of open minds and loving hearts, celebrating many sources of wisdom and many spiritual paths. Your faith, your doubt, your identities are all welcome here. Welcome to visitors and those of you who are joining us online. Would everybody turn around, wave, and say, yay, we're glad you're here. There is a preschool program open for young ones and groups for kids following the time for all ages. And after the service, please join us in the parking lot for our Maypole celebration. This is a wonderful expression of community with bagpipes and all. So please join us in the celebration of spring, connection, and community. On Wednesday, we have our Tupper Suppers and a program, and this Wednesday's forum is Your UU Identity that is led by Amy Nelson. Supper is at 5:30 and the forum is at 6:15 with childcare, and all are welcome. Our offering today goes to Med City Refuge, an organization that supports those who come to Rochester, Minnesota for gender-affirming care. So when the offering is taken today, please give generously. So this is a very, very special Sunday, one that is near and dear to my heart. When our coming-of-age youth share their statements of faith, their framing of what they believe this life is about, what their spiritual life means to them, what are the truths to which they tether their hearts. Derek Robertson has been a faithful leader and guide for the coming of age for many years, and you are lucky to have him as part of your faith development team. So I invite Derek now to come to the chancel and give us some context for what you're about to witness and to participate. Derek.
Welcome to this year's Coming of Age service. This class has been busy this year. They hosted the most well-attended Tupper Supper this church has ever had, with over 110 people stuffed into the Commons to raise funds for the Immigration Justice Fund. They also made benches for the trails at our new church home that can be enjoyed by all. There is a sample bench downstairs for you to see, but please do not sit in it as it has not been polyurethaned yet. Mostly, we sat and learned together. Earlier in the year, these youth looked at different coming-of-age ceremonies in other religions and cultures, and we saw a fairly consistent theme show up in the different cultures that we looked at. In each, the thing that set the youth apart from the adult that was proven in the coming-of-age experience was the ability to perpetuate the knowledge and traditions of the culture or religious community. What the community valued was reflected in the knowledge passed down in the coming-of-age experience. For some, it was the knowledge of traditional healing practices that highlighted the relation to the land. For others, it was language of scripture that bound the religion together. For others, it was the tenets and teachings of religious leaders that shaped the religious community. So what does the coming-of-age experience teach us about what we as UUs value? I think it's this, in part. We value the ability to state personal beliefs with sincerity and conviction, and at the same time cultivate the willingness to question those beliefs, to interrogate them, and, if needful, be open to change them. These youth model this wonderfully. You will hear solid statements of belief sitting next to questions for the future and intentions to keep searching and exploring. Sentences of faith sit next to clauses of doubt. These youth teach us that a living faith is one that is open to change, one that claims that learning and doubt are the currency of belief, one that is open to the varied perspectives of the world, even as those perspectives wrap us into the entanglement of living. So I invite you, as we say at the beginning of every class period, to sit, talk, and be together as we lift and teach one another. And now we invite you, as the choir comes forward, to stand and greet those around you.
Good luck. Good morning. Good luck. Hey, good luck.
You're leaving Valerie to the bridges.
Thank you, Rose.
Did you guys have a good night? Yes, it was. Yeah. Really?
We left a little early. Yeah. I know it. Yeah, one didn't have as much knowledge on it, so. And then the second one did. So. Yeah. It's right around the corner.
It takes a whole village to raise our children. It takes a whole village to raise one child. We all, everyone, will share the burden. We all, everyone, will share the joy.
Invite children to come up. Anybody who's feeling young at heart can come on up. How are we? Yeah, and you got exactly what we're going to do. We're going to come look at this thing. Come on up. Come around our little candle here. Want you to get a good look at this. All right, so we have right here, we're calling this our coming of age candle. What do you notice about this? Yeah.
It has more than just one candle.
Okay, there's more than one wick. How many wicks are in this candle? Can you count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there are 7 wicks in this candle. Why do you think there are 7 wicks in this candle? Because someone's turning 7? That is a very good guess. Look, I want you to look over here. Look over here. How many teenagers do you see over here? Can you count? There's 7 teenagers over there. So if there's 7 teenagers over there, and there are 7 wicks right here, what do you think each of those wicks are for?
For all 7 of them to light.
Yeah, that is, each one of those teenagers is going to come in and light this candle. Where do you think they're getting the fire from to light that candle? Yeah, right there. And what's that?
Chalice.
Yeah, that's our chalice. We light the chalice every single week. We light it up here. We light a chalice in our faith development classes, don't we? Now, what we're doing here is we want the teenagers and we want you and we want all of the congregation to sort of realize this point, and we're just going to make it very blatant, that there's the fire in the chalice, but the fire is our communal fire, and it is populated by the light that each of us brings. And so as the youth give their statements of belief, they're going to come in and they're going to take some of the fire from our communal chalice and they're going to light their own wick so that they can see that their light is both contributing to and coming from us as a group. Would you like to see one of the youth do this? Yeah, let's see. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to come over to this side because they're going to come up right there. And this is Daria, and Daria is going to tell us what they believe.
Growing up, I've always had trouble making friends, typically from shyness or anxiety, so every time someone reached out to me, it excited me. Every connection I had with someone is something I valued, even if it was challenging, short, or painful. It has always been rewarding and worthwhile. I believe each connection, no matter how brief, serves a purpose. A while back, I started a relationship with someone that ultimately didn't last long and was unrequited. This connection was unbalanced, and I often extended homework help while only receiving lukewarm thanks in exchange. Reflecting on that relationship, I can think of cringeworthy moments, but also moments that were worthwhile and heartwarming, such as collaborating in health class and sharing awkward embraces after performances. These are memories I can look back on and smile on, even while being flawed. That relationship ended after I recognized my position and what a bittersweet ending. Despite the imbalance, it was not devoid of meaning whatsoever. It taught me valuable lessons about self-worth and boundaries. I learned that it's okay to refuse to be taken advantage of, and that waiting for extended periods of time of impossible reciprocation isn't worthwhile. It was a crucial experience that significantly helped pave the way for the happiness I cherish today. Society today might dismiss small relationships or ones that end as a, quote, waste of time. However, I see it differently. Each connection, no matter how brief, serves a purpose. Every interaction serves a purpose, whether that be a lesson about yourself, a stepping stone to deeper connection, or a blossoming relationship. For me, that friendship highlighted the importance of communication that has strengthened every relationship, including with siblings, friends, families, and my current girlfriend. Cultivating a strong, healthy relationship by openly sharing feelings and needs is a skill I have learned and continue to try and strengthen. No matter how fleeting your relationship may be, I'm grateful for them. Everyone can learn and grow from every relationship. They have shaped me into the person I am today, and I look forward to my journey of discovery and growth in each connection I make.
We can't wait for each of you to grow up so you can go through this as well. So you can get the experience of lighting your own wick from our chalice. So right now, we're going to sing the children's benediction, and you can follow Chantel to some faith development activities.
Throughout life, I always think about what even matters. What matters is different depending on your perspective. Some philosophers argue that some external factors and reasons for doing things don't hold true value in life. Instead, I ask the question, why would you waste valuable time throughout life on things that don't help you at all now or in the future? I believe things don't matter. When I say things don't matter, I'm not talking about, oh, well, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter whether I turn in this assignment or not. Well, I have my thoughts on that. It's not what I'm getting at. Instead, I think, why should we care about things if they don't matter? Why should I care if someone says something bad about me when it does literally nothing to me? In fact, if it's one of my friends saying something like that, maybe it's something that does matter because it's something I need to fix or something that would make me a better person. It goes even deeper than that. Let's say a teacher assigns me an assignment that is not graded and provides little to no value to me. Why should I do it? My mom is probably sitting over there with her hand on her face, shaking her head right now. But, of course, I usually do the assignment because most of them provide certain value, such as helping you learn material, which will be useful in the long run, or as simple as getting more brownie points with the teachers, just in case I have an 89.95% at the end of the semester and I need that extra little boost to get an A. In determining what is worth doing, I usually weigh the time and effort required to do something, the reward of doing the task, and what I could be doing instead. Most of us do this in our daily lives without really thinking about it, such as picking which career to have by weighing the money or other benefits received from doing the job, compared to how much you would actually enjoy doing it. It is about setting priorities. I think this is the best way to live life. I believe things don't really matter, although this doesn't mean nothing matters. I think many things matter. I believe family and friends matter because I enjoy being around them. I believe education matters because it sets up my future. I believe living a fun life matters. The best part about life is realizing what matters to you.
Throughout my life, I have been exposed to many different religions and beliefs. Every year on Christmas, we visit my grandma's Lutheran church. Every time we stop in India, we go to a Hindu temple. I remember my grandfather telling me about his faith in Judaism. I remember my cousin telling me about Hanuman, one of the many Indian gods. Although my parents were raised Christian and Hindu, they do not fully hold on to the one religion, yet still have some belief in a higher being. I have always had the choice of what I believe or if I believe. I don't believe in one God, one religion, rather that people create these connections through a community based on common beliefs. Finding a community provides a sense of belonging and shared identity. The belief in God has never been as strong to me as the belief in a community. A community can change the world based on their common goal and the decision they make to achieve this goal. I believe that a church doesn't have to be a place of God. Rather, it can be a home to a community. Community unites places, traditions, dreams, goals, and people into an idea of belonging. For many people, community is found within religion. It can be found within a hobby, a job, or even a sport. This church is a valuable community and home to many of its members. Rather than focus on a relationship with a greater being, I choose to embrace my relationship with friends and family. These relationships create who I am and who I aspire to be. I believe these personal connections will last a lifetime. Unlike other churches, the Unitarian Universalist Church has given me the decision to make an informed choice, and I choose community. Thank you.
Good morning. It is good to be with you. I invite you to settle in here as we create a place of communal caring and connection. It's our time to pause amidst the busyness of our lives, to slow down enough to consider the beauty that is here all around us, and to open a space for listening and love. Here, we honor all who support us in this caring, loving, and all-inclusive ministry. Today's flowers are shared by Amy and Garth Nelson in celebration of our coming-of-age youth. And we send gratitude to Maggie O'Connell Nolte and Joyce Wood, serving as our caring coordinators, arranging care for our members and friends in need for the last 2 weeks. Mary Jane McCarty and Kay Eberman will take over, I don't believe that's right, Joyce Wood, I believe, will take over for the next 2, and we thank them for that. The members of our caring committee are wonderful examples of our compassionate community, holding us up as we go through challenging and happy times. And life can be challenging. We could all use some extra support with what life throws at us. And if you are experiencing those challenges in your life, we encourage you to reach out for support and help. If you need additional care or personal pastoral care, please reach out to Reverend Ruth or myself with that request. In this community, we share pieces of our lives with one another. We do this because all people here have value. Each person's experience matters. We lift up those who are experiencing sadness, illness, or loneliness. May the strength and love in our congregation help guide you. And we revel in those who are experiencing joys in their lives. May their happiness lift us all, and may their joy filter into all around them. Please hold Sarah Monson and family in your thoughts. Sarah's mom, Kathy Hansen, is at the beginning of a likely long recovery from a serious motor vehicle accident. She suffered many injuries, including spine and rib fractures, and remains in the hospital. In early April, Marty Hartz was diagnosed with breast cancer and has undergone surgery. She is feeling good and is very optimistic about recovery and awaits testing to determine the next steps. We hold her tight in our hearts along this healthcare journey. And we celebrate this morning with Abby Lohr and Noah Van Gordon, who's here this morning, and Harriet, the birth of their baby boy. After a speedy delivery, Shay Lohr Van Gordon was born at 6:15 p.m. on Monday, which is also their wedding anniversary. How fun. Those celebrations may change. They are excited, though, to be a family of 4, and we welcome this new life to the world. And cards of support and well wishes are welcome for all. The Cards of Support list that is compiled weekly contains several members and friends who are experiencing those challenges or happy times, and is posted in the entryway of the church and through a link in your e-news. We provide cards and postage and welcome you to leave cards you write near the basket for mailing. Here, our service to each other, to the world, and to our faith is our focus. Let us carry that out into the wider world. May the faith in the Spirit of life, love for the community of earth, and love for the light in each other be ours now and in all the days to come.
And so I invite you now to find yourself in this here and now. Breathe deep the breath of life, grounded by the earth below and held in the stars above. You yourself are made of earth and stars, and in this house you are named and known as beloved, as sacred. Let us enter a time of silence together, allowing our hearts to open, our minds to find some ease, our bodies to rest in breath. Spirit of life and love, God and Gaia of many names, today we bless the wanderings of our beloved youth. Whether they affirm it or not, whether they stay in our orbit or venture out, may they hold fast to some central tenets of faith. That this life has meaning, that it is important to live and love for the good. That kindness is the central ingredient of a fulfilling life and a thriving community. That the spiritual life is a connected life, whether you believe in God or not. That as Seeley in the book of The Color Purple says, that we are here to wonder, to ask, and that in wondering about the big things and asking about the big things, you learn about the little ones, almost by accident. That the more we wonder, the more we love. In all the unraveling that is part and parcel of our time, may these youth be part of a weaving together of love, connection, justice, and mercy in our world. We give thanks for the mentors in our community who have accompanied our youth in their discernments, and we honor and bless all the parents and caregivers who have served as faithful companions and lovers of children in their families and beyond. There are so many concerns and joys we carry today, so many people we hold in our hearts, and so we take this time to speak those names aloud. Spirit of life inside of life, bless this congregation. May those within these walls and beyond find solace for what is broken, joy in what is true, and live into the good and grace that is within us, around us, and moving through us. May we find what we trust and live that faith-filled trust as big as we can. May it be so, and amen.
The power of silence. I'd like to begin my statement of faith by sharing a memory with you, a time when silence was palpable, ever-present, and all-encompassing. I picked one moment among thousands, one moment where silence was ever so present. I was swimming in the ocean at Revere Beach in Boston, Massachusetts. This beach is special because it's the first public beach in the United States, dedicated in 1895 for public recreation, and is one of the first properties added to Boston's Metropolitan Park system. While swimming in the salty ocean, it was blissfully silent, aside from the lulling whoosh of the waves. The water was too dark to see the bottom, and it was a refreshing sort of cold. As I lay there floating, I could hear nothing but silence, and I just soaked it up, savoring the wash of calm. It seemed to have healed me laying there. I could feel the silent calm going through me, washing away the worry from my mind, the stress from my shoulders, and the pain from my sore feet. After I had gotten out, it felt like I had just been to a nice spa, and I was ready to face the next adventure. Silence. Silence is a powerful thing that is inescapable. It's always there, whether you notice it or not. I believe in the power silence holds over us all. Silence can be embarrassing, deadly, awkward, scary, welcome, unwanted, needed. Silence is both feared and loved. Silence can be used to prove a point.
To me, silence is all of those things. My relationship with silence has been complicated. It's always been something to avoid. It was loud, chaotic, busy, full. Not because the room was loud, but because my head was. My mind was always ticking, always thinking of the next thing, always reminding me of things in the past that I can't change. Always there in the dark of the night, thinking. The word silence is a trick, because silence is never actually silent. It's actually the opposite. It's loud. Silence has no container. It has no boundaries. Laying there in the ocean, it was like I was experiencing silence for the first time, and it deepened my understanding of what the power of silence can do. That is why I believe in the ever-present power of silence, because silence is many things, but it is seldom ever truly silent.
My name's Sam Thompson, and my parents have been members of this church since before I was born, and I believe that unity can bring group success. Through my 11 years of playing soccer, I have found that the unity of my team determines the success of my team. Last summer, my team and I were playing in a tournament up in the cities. We played very well throughout the whole tournament, and we made it to the final against a team from Iceland. The final got postponed because of a storm. But after it passed, we learned that we'll be doing a penalty shootout for the final, because the Iceland team had their flights home in 2 hours, so we didn't have time to play a full game. A penalty shootout is when the teams end in a draw, so 5 players from each team take a shot 12 yards away from the goal, and whoever makes more shots wins. Taking a shot in front of so many people and in such a big moment is very difficult. So before me and 4 of my other teammates went to take our shots, my coach got our whole team together and said, when one of us takes a shot, we're all taking that shot. We win as a team, and we lose as a team. Because of my coach's words, I felt like my whole team was taking that shot with me, and I knew I would succeed. We ended up winning, and I think the reason we won is because our coach made us feel united. Being unified is not just important in sports. It's important in any community you're a part of. Whether you're raising money, trying to win a competition, or just improving in something, it's all more likely if the group is unified. Unity is important in any religion, and I'm not sure what I believe in religiously yet, but whatever I end up choosing will be a community that embraces diversity, but will come together as one.
I find it fitting that Coming of Age Sunday is the same day as Maypole, because I would bet that if you would ask any of the kids up here, that one of their first memories is probably doing the Maypole or getting tied to the Maypole or something along those lines. So in that celebration, this is an excerpt from The Blythedale Romance by Nathaniel Hawthorne. A little further off, some old-fashioned skinkers were spreading a banquet on the leaf-strewn earth, while a long-tailed gentleman tuned his fiddle and summoned the whole motley rout to a dance before partaking of the festal cheer. So they joined hands in a circle, whirling around so swiftly, so madly, so merrily, in time and tune with the music, that their separate incongruities blended all together, and they became a kind of entanglement.
The offering will now be received and given.
Change. Change is the only thing that doesn't change. When I started in middle school, it was a lot for me. I experienced my first death in my life. I changed in routine, losing friends, gaining friends. For a period of my life, I was in a constant state of panic. I started constantly searching for something to ground myself on, something that no matter what would happen, it would stay the same. Unfortunately, that's not how the world works. People change, get older, things get worn down, buildings get torn down, and new ones get built. I didn't know when, but I concluded that everything changes. That was a scary thought for me. It made me feel isolated and alone. I didn't want to get older. I didn't want to change. I didn't want people to move away. But then again, something changed. I read this book, Dandelion Wine by Ray Bradbury. The main character was going through the exact same thing I was. I realized that no matter what, I could count on something changing. Doesn't that make everything a little bit more valuable? I can change, become more comfortable with myself, gain confidence, get smarter, and learn new things. I don't have to stay worried about it for the rest of my life. Now change is something I try to embrace. Looking forward instead of looking back makes my life a whole lot easier for me. I remember when I was so obsessed with labeling myself and trying to figure out everything around me. What group I fit in, who am I, what am I? As soon as I figured it out, the next day it would change. And I think that's the best part about being human, that flexibility. For me, it's that unknown of not knowing what box I fit in that makes it easier to live. I've become more comfortable with not knowing everything about myself and the world I live in. I'm more comfortable saying, I don't know what happens when I die or who I identify as. I don't need to pour everything into finding all of the answers. And maybe that will change one day. But I now know for certain that the only thing that doesn't change is change.
Art allows me to connect with the world and myself. I'm not the best at expressing and understanding emotions, but I found a way to do so in something I love, which is art. My entire life, I've been interested in art, and I knew I was going to be an artist. When I was very little, around 6 to 7 months old, my mother gave me crayons and taped down a piece of copy paper for me to draw on. And I have been creating ever since. From characters and stories, paper clothes, drawing in my sketchbooks, painting, miniature houses, and so much more. No matter what I'm feeling, I can use art to help express it and understand it. When I was in 5th grade, my grandma died. At the time, me and my parents were living in Maryland while my family was in Minnesota. So during the school year, we took some time, drove back, and went to her funeral. I remember sitting next to everyone as they were crying, and I felt I needed to cry, but I just couldn't. During the funeral, I drew the entire time. I ended up drawing a figure crying and showing it to my parents, saying that's how I felt, and I was devastated. I couldn't actually express it. Then, and many other times throughout my life, art has allowed me to show others how I felt when I wasn't able to do it in the typically normal way. Art always also allows me to show my love for others when I can't express it in words. My parents have always collected my art, from silly doodles to cards I wrote for them. A few years ago, after many very subtle hints, I gifted my dad a drawing so we could get it tattooed. Now he has one of my drawings tattooed on his arm and keeps asking for another. Other than a show of my love for him, it's a show of his love for me as well. My father sees emotions in art the same way I do. This tattoo lives to be a show of love and about this connection we share. The communities I have grown up with, my family, friends, and church, have supported and allowed my growth within art and myself. I hope to continue to use art to experience the world the best I can.
So I invite all the youth to come and circle the table and stand beside your flame as best you can.
Yeah.
And you're to, yeah, you can just, it's okay if you're, yeah, that's all right. Perfect.
You've been asked hard, important questions of life, of ethics, spirituality, reminding us all that the work of the soul is for everyone. You have reminded us that our own responsible, reverent search for truth and meaning is lifelong, and we should attend to it with humor and humility, knowing that wisdom comes from questions and answers, and from a sense of wonder and awe at the world's brokenness mingled with its beauty.
And now I invite family and close friends and the COA mentors of these youth to come forward with your inserts and surround these youth. Please come forward, family and COA mentors, and place a hand on your youth. And if you're a family member and you have, some people may have to, go through there. Yes. Yes, that's perfect. Perfect. You, families and mentors, have been these young people's support and guides, offering them love and encouragement, giving them life, kindling in them wonder and hope, and in turn learning from their own life, their own wisdom.
I invite those of you who have taught as teachers and facilitators for these youth over the years in classes, in service projects, OWL, Coming of Age, to raise a hand of blessing for them. You, our facilitators and teachers, have encouraged wonder, curiosity, hard questions, and community, teaching the stories and practices of who we are and are yet to be, and learning from these youth as they have grown.
And now I invite the entire congregation to raise a hand of blessing to these youth of age, coming of youth of age. You, congregation, have held strong the flame of our people through story and song and service. You have kept the breath of life and the fire of hope alive. Our doors and hearts and minds open to those young people, paying attention to the vibrancy, the hope, and the prophetic voice these youth bring. Now, keeping that hand of blessing, reaching toward these youth, I invite you now to the litany of blessing in your order of service. Families?
Kindle your flame with the stick growing brighter, and honor to celebrate what you have taught us, who you have become, and are yet becoming.
And now the faith development teachers, facilitators, and mentors.
We tend your flame, offering you stories of wisdom, practices to nourish your soul, and questions to spark wonder, and we learn from you as your own soul grew.
And the congregation.
Kept the flame alive,
Singing the songs and telling the stories of our people, serving the world in compassion and love, knowing that your presence has shaped our soul. And coming of age youth,
We have been nurtured by good teachers and loved ones. We have engaged deep questions of wonder and love and hope. We have, in honesty and humility, spoken our truth, knowing that wonder and wisdom is a whole life's work.
as you are coming of age, may we all continue becoming our best selves, nurturing spirituality, compassion, and justice. May we all know, may you know, you beautiful youth, we are beloved, sacred, whole, and as the youth blow out their candle, may we remember that as your flame has come from our shared chalice, it is always there. And every time we light it, the light of our ancestors and our descendants, the light of each of you shines. May it be so. Please blow out the candles. And you can return to your seats. Let us join in our final hymn, Lean on Me. In all this joy, in all of these statements of faith, well, may we find strength and connection and love and joy and go out and share it in this beautiful and pained world. But yes, we will be beacons of love. May it be so. Amen.
Nope, I'll just reset it all here.